Thank you, sir. I stand here in support of this bill. My colleague from the Treasury bench, I think, has not heard the earlier speeches. Most speakers who have spoken since the debate has started have specifically supported the bill. So I think it's an illusionary information that he has spoken on that people are objecting to this bill. I think Sonwalji, in his opening line, has made it very, very clear from what he has explained in the bill that he is not making any drastic changes in the bill. It is just renewing, changing of name, and that and the year, and there has not been much changes is what he has said in the bill when he opened his speech. So my colleague and friend Nishikant Dubey ji was under an illusion that the entire opposition is in a very combative mode against this bill. Let me with full humility say that the entire opposition with full humility has always in support of this bill, because we understand that this is not some great policy change that they have done in this. Well, was there opportunity to do it? Of course there is. There is always an opportunity to improve. But I would like to ask specific questions, since it came from the Treasury bench, that they have said they have made it far more transparent than it was. I would like to ask the Honourable Minister in his reply to explain to us the comparison of earlier it wasn't transparent and today it is transparent. Like a small example they gave, that if it's one of the countries you don't want to work with or you don't have trade with, and the goods from that country come to our country, the country of origin would always be known, and then we can take a decision. So since this is a very serious policy comment that has come from the Treasury bench, I would seek a clarification from the Honourable Minister of what is the status before and what it is today. Well, in this maritime trade that we are talking and maritime commerce, well, India, in this entire global trade, we have a large seashore, and from the states where you come from, Tamil Nadu, where I come from, Plain Chandraji comes from, we have a big coast. And we have been, over the years, we have all tried to develop all our ports to generate more trade and more jobs for all our people. Well, given the economy of the country today, the rupee where it stands today, imports is something that this government should be very, very concerned about. As long as we are exporting, we are in a very good position. But I'm not sure what really of levels of trade are we doing right now. I would like to bring a small thing to the Honourable Ministers. Many points have made that there are new provisions which will to make ease of doing business. Now, ease of doing business actually was a global bank word. That ease of business has even stopped. So their government is still using it selectively. When it suits us, they say it's ease of doing business, we have done better, and there are some days they say, oh, it doesn't even matter whether we are a part of ease of doing business. But I would like to ask that, is there an appeal authority? Suppose now they have made this change, what he's saying is being very transparent. Any bill when you bring in, there have to be checks and balances, sir. I want to ask, because there is a comment in the statement of objectives, number 3 point, they said the new provision is proposed to be incorporated to empower the central government to issue directions to carry out provision or proposed legislation. What Mr. Dubey said about minor and major ports, I agree with him completely. These are two completely different projects of state and country, cooperative federalism, nobody interferes in each other. But when you go into international waters, clearly central government takes over. I mean, every government is aware of that. And in cooperative federalism, I want to understand, how have you empowered yourself further? So what is the difference? Because in your opening, there was not much of difference brought in. So how are you empowering yourself? Then what worries me is most decisions this government has taken has actually stopped cooperative federalism, like from universities. In the education university, so much control from this government has started interfering into the states. So my first concern is that, are you taking away power again under some surreptitious way from the states? So that's my concern. And I would like to ask the Honourable Minister one question, that in this you have said that there's an appealing authority. Now, in this appealing authority, who will be this appealing authority, because of the specific word that they are empowering themselves? So now, suppose I will give you an example which has come in the newspaper, sir, I can authenticate it. There was a company from Visakhapatnam which was importing shrimp feed from Brazil. So it was coming from Brazil into India. It came to Visakhapatnam, it landed with all the proper papers, and this has come in the newspaper, I can easily authenticate it. And Interpol told the government that there were drugs on this ship. Now, the authority obviously seized it. After seizing, the company got a notice. For 9 months, this which is an Indian company, was battling the Brazilian company and the Indian company. Both companies were willing to go through any tests, they had opened their offices completely, and they had denied everything and were willing to open any inquiry. After full 9 months, the government realized and gave them a clean chit. Now it's international company in Brazil, an Indian company importing shrimp, what is it called? Shrimp feed. Now 9 months, this company got affected. They had to pay huge tariffs because it was just parked there for 9 months, and their business collapsed for 9 full months. Look, if they're a large organization, maybe can afford it. But small businesses who are trying to make India proud, Atmanirbhar Bharat, we're trying to do so many things to work betterment with other countries. What intervention will your government do in a time-bound manner? 9 months is a long period for that company. So how can you help or intervene? What is in this, is there anything like goods or damages? When goods get damaged, who will take ownership of it? Government is going to put their hands up and said, oh, the Interpol has told us, so we can't do anything about it. So can we have a time-bound manner? There's so much technology available now. So can we have a quasi-judicial system here in a time-bound manner so that anybody who has such challenges, it could even be real. Like Mr. Dubey said, so many drugs are coming into India. My God, it's actually alarming. And I think this whole House should together do something for this fight against drugs unanimously. So what would you do? Because most drugs are not made in India, they're imported. So what are you doing in this bill to stop any drugs entering from India? I think that's what we expect from this Honorable Minister. So can you tell us, or even these things that are happening in the dark net? Mr. Dubey said that the e-billing is not something that is practical or it's been done. My question to the government is so much, which even Mr. Premchandran said, with so much technology coming in, which you can call it a disruption or you can call it to help us. What technology, could have we not used more technology in this leading bill? So can you specifically tell us how you're going to protect the Indian businessmen in this? Because this bill has to be for our Indian people. So I urge you to seriously consider, if required, you can take all this feedback, strengthen the bill. We support it even in the case it is. But we hope that you will protect every Indian businessman because he or she or that company is India's pride. Like you said, you are proud about India. We are proud about every enterprising businessman in India who's trying to create and generate wealth and opportunity for Indians. So I hope in this entire international game, no Indian gets compromised in the future, and you will take up ownership and lead from the front for the Indian businessmen who are helping maritime commerce. Thank you.
Thank you.